Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Stranger Days, and social media is a very bad place, right? The more I spend time there, the more I really just kind of hate it, right? It's you never really have a conversation, and anything you say can and will be used against you without a court of law. It's all terrible stuff. But one of the craziest things though is how like the left, and I do mean the left here, targets everything that is somewhat controversial or edgy as hate speech. If you disagree with somebody, it's hate speech. I thought Ghostbusters 2016 was a bad movie. Hate speech. People literally were saying that because they're trying to tie it into bigotry and misogyny for simply not liking a movie because the movie was bad, not because of who was in it, because the movie was objectively bad. But that's how we are. That's where we've been. And it's been growing and growing and growing and growing and growing for years. And part of that's to do, I think, with just the social divide we find ourselves in regards to just how social media has kind of just separated us. It keeps us in our own echo chamber and everything else. And it's designed that way. And that's bad. But what's really bad, what's even worse, I think, is that you have Berkeley scientists now that are trying to develop an AI tool that can combat hate speech online. But the thing with that, though, is that hate speech is not something that is recognized by the United States Supreme Court. It's entirely subjective. So how can an AI be subjective? An AI is not meant to be subjective. Ultimately, it's meant to be objective. I guess you can say it's programmed to be subjective, but then whoever's programming the subjectivity is going to then put their bias on it, and their bias is going to be skewed one way or another. So then it's not very, it's got to be objective or it's got to be nothing. Now it says here, scientists at the University of California, Berkeley are developing a tool that uses AI to identify hate speech on social media, a program that researchers hope will outperform human beings in identifying bigoted comments on Twitter, Reddit, and other platforms. Yeah, that's the thing. Is it going to be able to understand context? Is it going to be able to understand a joke, an edgy joke? All right. I mean, like just recently, even on YouTube, there's a guy named Mumkey Jones who got booted off, completely eviscerated, had a channel with 321,000 people, I think in another channel with like 72,000 subs, completely wiped out because he had made Elliot Rodgers commentary. It was anti-Elliot Rodgers. It was also a 4-year-old event. They even got a video of his that was private, and he was curious how that was flagged, even though it was private. 90% of all flaggings on YouTube are all done through an automated bot, by the way, just so you know. So that's how they got it. They're running the bot through. But the bot is not being, it's programmed to look for certain things. Then it flags it. Then it goes to a human reviewer, and the human reviewer should be objective. But the human reviewers here were not. We're not objective. Mumkey is gone. So apply that same idea here to this particular type of AI. If the AI is meant to just kind of filter out certain words, the N word, the K word, whatever else word you want to use, and then it goes to a human, the human then is going to be the one who applies the bias to it. But there's already a bias already implicitly put on there by the bot, which then means that it's already going to be skewed against the user. And for the reviewer then it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Now, scientists at Berkeley's D-Lab are working in cooperation with the Anti-Defamation Grade, the ADL, on a scalable detection system, the Online Hate Index, or the OHI, to identify hate speech. In addition to artificial intelligence, the program will use several different techniques to detect offensive speech online, including machine learning, natural language processing, and good old human brains. The brain is good, but it's still human. Therefore, it's prone to errors. All right. It's, as they say, to err is human, right? Oh, man. Okay. So researchers aim to have major social media platforms one day utilizing the technology to detect hate speech and eliminate it. And the users who spread it from the networks. Okay. So we're already looking at this as being a deplatforming AI. Let's all just kind of sit there for a minute and realize that this is a bad idea. Bad idea. You don't want to do this. You do not want to do this. It's not going to work the way you want it to. It's to quote Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. It's not going to end the way you think. All right? Because it's going to be skewed to one side. And not the bigotry that comes from all sides. By the way, it's not just right-wingers that have some bigoted moments. Man, I've seen some lefties that are supreme racists. But they're not going to be the ones that are targeted, and that ain't cool. right? We're either all equal or none of us are equal, right? We cannot make this an Animal Farm situation. Okay. I'm not trying to evoke, Orwell, but let's be right here. Let's be fair. It's not all 1984. We're also living in a fucking Animal Farm. Anyway, current technology mainly involves the use of keyword searches, one researcher states, which are fairly imprecise and blunt. Current algorithms can be fooled by simply spelling words differently. That's true. That's very true. The OHI, and this is what it says here, it says the OHI intends to address these deficiencies. Already their work has attracted the attention and financial support of the platforms that are most bedeviled and that draw the most criticism from hate-laced content: Twitter, Google, Facebook, Reddit. Basically the four horsemen of the social media apocalypse. Let's be fair. Because once that happens, it's all bets are off if you are not left of like Bernie Sanders. You know what I mean? And I'm a Bernie supporter, and I can see the people on the left of him are just freaking insane. D-Lab initially enlisted 10 students of diverse backgrounds from around the country to code the posts, flagging those that overtly or subtly conveyed hate messages. Data obtained from the original group of students were fed into machine learning models, ultimately yielding algorithms that could identify text that met hate speech definitions with 85% accuracy, missing or mislabeling offensive words and phrases only 15% of the time. Cool? Again, let's think of long-term implications here and who is going to be the most impacted. That is where things are. Now, though the initial 10 coders were left to make their own evaluations, they were given survey questions such as, is the comment directed at or about any individual or groups based on race or ethnicity, to help them differentiate hate speech from merely offensive language. In general, hate comments were associated with specific groups, while non-hate language was linked to specific individuals without reference to religion, race, gender, etc. Under these criteria, a screed against the Jewish community would be identified as hate speech, while a rant, no matter how foul, against an African-American celebrity might get a pass as long as his or her race was incited. Okay, fine, cool, fine. I'm okay with that. But let's be real. let's be real on this one for a second, right? Let's break it down. Let's get in real close here. How many times, in that last statement right there, how many times have you seen people on Twitter or Facebook or Reddit or social media that have done on those foul-mouthed rants against the person, not based upon their race, their gender, their religion, sexual orientation, any of the metrics that are going to be used to identify hate speech in this particular context, and then had the response been to that been, look at all this bigotry, misogyny, racism, sexism, isms. How many times? A lot. It sucks that you cannot criticize someone and not have that thrown back in your face. I don't like that one damn bit. Not one damn bit. I'm not a fan. I don't think it's good because again, going back to Ghostbusters 2016, sorry to keep bringing it up, but it's a worthwhile comparison here or example here. The first trailer dropped. No one really liked it because it was a bad trailer. It was a bad teaser. People started talking shit about it in the comments section. What happened then? Articles popped up. Look at all the sexist, bigoted comments online. Most of the comments that were in there, people saying like, this movie looks dumb. This does not look very good. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that you screwed up this fact here or whatever. But not based at the actresses in the film. But because it starred 4 women, because of that, they labeled it all as sexist. So that last part there, that's like, well, we're going to identify this as being what is against a particular protected class of people versus what is against the individual. But when the individual is able to invoke the former and then try to change the argument to deflect any criticism as being bigoted, racist, misogynistic, sexist garbage. And what if the people who are then in control of that algorithm, of that technology at these social media companies decide to then make that the metric? Then everything is going to be sexist and racist and homophobic and bigoted and misogynistic. Everything. If you want it to be. And all someone has to say is, yeah, I feel like that's aimed at me like that. Or one comment, and don't get me wrong, look, I'm not going to sit there and say that you're not going to see those comments, because those comments exist and people are douchey for saying them. I'm not defending them. I'm defending all the other people that have valid criticism on something that get lumped into a certain camp because there are people out there that do not like that there is a group that maybe is vocal and not liking something, so they shut them down by just labeling them that. whatever X is, solve for it. You know what I mean? Not a fan. Not a damn fan. Hey, thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to thumbs it up, subscribe, and comment below. Here's real talk though. YouTube is making it harder and harder for channels with different political opinions to be able to monetize. If you want to help the channel keep it around, please consider supporting the channel financially. Links below in the video description. Again, I really appreciate everyone watching. Have yourself a great day and peace out.